I try to present it in a ethical way. Like all the stuff that maybe seem kind of whatever shady-ish that I suggest, I always try to approach it in a win-win way. It's not
Yeah. Well,
like
it's gray hat more.
yeah, because
I think you probably want to explain that a little bit for people who are new and might not really know what.
yeah, so like again, there's like whatever three main levels of SEO: white hat, gray hat, and black hat. And the way I think pretty much any seasoned SEO will agree that everything is technically black hat because you're basically gaming and manipulating the search engines. That's what we do. Um,
Hmm.
that's how we engineer, our paychecks and stuff. We rank stuff. Well, how do you do it? Well, you manipulate the search engines. That's how you get ranked.
Yeah,
I mean, if you
but that
wait
doesn't mean that it's a malicious manipulation.
right, and so I pretty much I don't know. I don't think there is really. Oh, there is white hat. It's just white hat is we all want like faster results and stuff, but my I I guess where I personally draw the line is I always try to put out good content, whether it be a video or a blog post. So I there aside from the mass page sites or whatever, it's it has like whatever the end game is like good. I'm not trying to spam or hurt anybody with the sites and content that I create. And then gray hat, I just see it as more of like, oh, kind of thinking outside the box. Like, oh, this wasn't really designed for this. Well, I'm going to use it this way because I've noticed that when I do, it gives me advantages over here.
Right.
And like, so just I see the stuff that I teach is, mostly gray hat, and it's mostly just to kind of squeeze as much profit out of, the same traffic that other people might be getting. And they'll probably be shaking their head wondering why is Greg making three times as much as me with the same traffic? It's like, oh, because I'm doing like these other three things or something. Whereas black hat, I'm sure some of the stuff I teach or do is can be considered black hat, but when I think of black hat, I associate it with a very sloppy, lazy way to do marketing because
Mm.
SEO is pretty much if you're gonna spend any time doing it, it is kind of a long term strategy. So, in my opinion, it's not worth uh, just like doing a lot of churn and burn stuff because I mean, you and I were kind of the same age. When you're 16, it doesn't matter, but like when you get to be whatever mid 20s, 30s, 40s, I just I'm somebody that wants to kind of build in this season of my life. I want to build things that are a little more stable and sustainable. And with the black hat stuff, it's almost like you got to run faster than the law to keep up. Your software's got to be faster. You got to be shadier than the search engine police and stuff. It's kind of like if you're a good enough criminal to stay 10 steps ahead of the law, great. You'll probably never get caught. But most people aren't that smart.
Right.
I know a couple of people that have had massive success with black hat tactics, but again, they're just doing things a little better than me in that arena, and I never felt comfortable enough to. It just seems like a very churn and burn business
Yeah.
model, and that
Yeah.
it's just a lot
It's
of
like
waste.
once you go down that path, it's no turning back, kind of. Too
Yeah, so
like dealing drugs almost. Just,
yeah, and
oh, I'm really good at this. Oh shit, I'm making a lot of money, and then it's like, wow, you have
yeah,
150 plus comments on this thing.
I know, and it's funny they're like coming in as we're speaking, but it's there's so many topics to talk about on this, and like one I also want to bring up is they I want to cover this one too, but they uh, let's see. Um, I'll address this one while I'm thinking of the other one. So yeah, so kind of building on one of the previous comments, they're like, oh, this is dumb to brag about like non-traffic generating keywords. Like it shows me has no real talent. It's like, well, it took some skill to do this. So um whatever. Again, it's not for the money. It's just to brag. Um and so yeah. Uh,
People
uh,
just people just want to hate too. And
yeah,
if it's so easy, why doesn't she just do it?
exactly. I never
And what's the point of wasting your time doing that? Like I like this interaction me and you are having, but I think I looked at this, I clicked on like maybe or haha, and then I didn't leave a comment because I'm like, I don't want my phone to be pinging
I
all
know.
day about people, talking shit about Greg because he did an experiment. Like,
I know.
what?
And this I finally thought of what I was about to say. So this again, this was just for fun. Just I thought it was good. I was just talking to our friend Tyler, and I was like, I I this was not how I'd planned my day today. I what I had in mind, I woke up and I was so excited to make this post, and I was just going to post it and then do some work and come back and check on it. But then it went crazy, and I was like, this can just be a total time suck, and it's a big waste of time. I've left like two comments. It's just I haven't even read them all. It's so many, but there. This is you know you may wonder why, first off, people don't come out with courses on things like SEO. This is
Mm,
a very good example of why people like I mean, the only reason I have exposure really is, and people know my name, is because I have a course. The reason why most people that are at my level are doing crushing it more with SEO or anything, the reason they don't have courses or masterminds or any of this stuff is this, because people like if they know what you're doing, they'll sometimes people will attack you, and it's I say it a lot. Like I really desire to be. I don't desire like to be rich and famous. I want to be rich and anonymous, and this is why, because it's better a lot of times if people just don't know what you're doing, because they'll just attack you, and you can just make your money under the radar. Nobody knows your name. They probably stumbled across many of your websites and your videos, but if your face and your voice isn't in them, they don't know who's behind that website. I mean, I thought it was funny if these people that were um, naming off rip-off reports. I thought it would be funny if like they didn't know, but I actually owned rip-off reports. That'd be hilarious. Like, good luck.
Next level. No, I
But
love it, man. I think you're 100% right. Being anonymous is really the way to go. And things like Facebook. So the power of this is the exposure, and probably next time you post, it'll get a lot more reach
yeah,
because obviously you're getting a lot of engagement. So the algorithm's going to hook you up. But like you said, anybody who's a productive person or seeks to be more productive, Facebook isn't built for us. It's built for consumer mindset where you just fuck around all day.
much. I mean, this is just a big whatever time suck. This is the
That's
opposite of
true. Yeah, it's a lot to read.
productivity. I mean, this could lead to more sales of the course, but like again, damn it. You could spend all day and way too much mental energy just replying to this stuff, and it's probably not going to make you much more money. And
Right. It's
so,
super interesting though, man. This world we live in. I was watching a video after making cleaning up my blogs and making them pretty and feeling really good about the opt-in stuff and just having all that stuff in set up. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to watch this video that YouTube suggested about Instagram influencers and how to become one and how to do this and how to do that. Because I was driving a lot of traffic from my Instagram, even though I don't have a whole ton of followers. And I read it and I was like, you know what? This seems like a good idea, but man, I don't think I want to be that person where you're constantly interacting with people. I don't like interacting with people, first of all. I'm really more introverted. So like to have to force social engagement online, people I don't know, and act like I care, it's just going to kind of not make me happy, you know? So
Yeah. And the thing that gets me, it's like, I kind of want, I'm not super duper witty, but I like to be. So like, if I come up with something clever, I, I would love to reply with that. But sometimes, it doesn't come to me. And so sometimes you can just waste a lot of time thinking of a reply when you could just be making money doing something else. Like, don't worry
yeah.
about it. So
It's
yeah,
super interesting, man. Super interesting. Yeah. So
I'm
if you're a
glad
new
we documented
SEO,
this, man, because this is incredible.
if you're a new SEO and you're trying to figure out if you should spend your time making blog posts, um, what else? Searching for keywords, getting good at that, getting your website to look good. These are the three things that I was focused on early on. Setting up opt-in, setting up lead magnets, setting up email service, all that stuff. Do that. Don't go on social and think that it's going to have a huge impact on your business. It's kind of like an add-on, and I hate to say that. It's not like a negative way, but I think that Greg is a good example of that. He killed it under the radar. Wasn't doing a whole lot online until he had his course, and then he started building out his groups and getting active. But that led to a business that was already established, right? It was a funnel for him to point them towards his course. A lot of times when people start out, they want to get popular online and then they want to start creating things. It's like, dude, that's kind of backwards, isn't it?
Yeah.
And easily you can kind of go down a rabbit hole and never come back, is what I think.
Yeah, it just and it's a kind of a distraction. I mean, that's the frustrating part. Like, I want to help as many people as I can with the course, but the more people that come into the course and that chime into the Facebook groups and stuff, like, somebody needs to engage with them, and it can't be me all the time. So now I have another expense. So I have to like pay people to engage with that other people in the group and stuff, and that's great. But like, again, these are all things that don't exist when it's just you. When you're just under the radar, when nobody knows what you're doing, it's great. You got no bosses, no employees, and just money, and nobody knows your name, and it's wonderful because you're just anonymous. I love it. But some people want fame. That's fine if you want that, but just know that it comes with a challenges, because I mean, I would hate to be kind of actor, super celebrity status, because there's certain places that you can't go now because you're just too famous. Like, I I like what uh, Matt said last night about me. We were talking to somebody, and he was like, honestly, I kind of like, I think that where Greg is like kind of the, if there is a ideal fame level, it's kind of like there. Like, he's like kind of famous, but like, but only to a certain group, but not too famous. Like, if I walk down the street, most people don't know me. That's fine. But like at the event last night, this happened again. Somebody in the room knew me that I didn't know them. They came up to me and they're like, "Hey, my name's Chris." I said, "Hey, I'm Greg," and they're like, "I know who you are." I'm like, okay. Um, that's cool, but that's about as popular as I want to be. It's I. You've probably heard this quote with Michael Jordan, and always kind of stuck with me. He's like, become so good at what you do to the point where when you walk in a room, you don't need to introduce yourself. And I like that, but I kind of like that just in the context of like SEO, affiliate marketing, ClickFunnels. It's nice,
Not the general public. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
For
it's it's
sure.
really nice when, we come to the internet marketing party each month now, and we go in there and we know like a half of the room. It's nice because everybody's friends now. It's a lot better feeling than walking in there and you don't know anybody. It's just
That's
like,
how it was for me about a
yeah,
year ago. It was kind of funny.
yeah.
But yeah,
But now
man.
you're balling, getting those affiliate checks, trading,
Oh man, I'm trying. Oh my gosh. I
and
definitely I'll chat with you off camera about how that's going and what I think the next steps are. But no, man, I appreciate you sharing that story. I'm sure inevitably I'll run into a similar situation where I'm either I guess they call it deranked, or maybe I got some nasty comments on one of my blogs, or I doubt I'll get attacked on Facebook, but because I'm not famous yet. But I think I think everybody will deal with it. Like I said, Kevin had to deal with that, and he was trying to move his sites from one server to another, and there was like a whole thing behind that.
yeah, that's kind of like, so all this, I mean, there's some good and bad, try to extract the good out of it, but there's some bad that does go along with it. And it's real stuff that companies face all the time. Like, it's the negative stuff that can it's like you're, even when you're doing good things, like you've got a site, you got good content, you're trying to send relevant links to it, everything's quality about it, and then some dummy out there comes and just tries to attack you,
Mm,
and you can spend a lot of money and time and energy trying to fight that, and it's just frustrating because it prevents you from moving forward because you're using all your resources now to protect the thing that you have. And it's I mean, it's something to be aware of because it will most certainly happen to every single one of you on this call, or this listening to this, at some point in your business.
yeah.
um, if you're doing like the last business I worked at, last job I had, we were doing millions and millions in sales a year. So we were like multi eight figures. And one thing the my boss said, he was like, you want to be the kind of sweet spot of business is like, you want to be like comfortably crushing it, but you don't want to crush it too hard because you'll get the attention of the bigger brands and they'll come and try to like crush you.
Mm,
Um, so it's like, and so we had sold a lot of volume on Amazon. He was like, kind of the sweet spot for Amazon is like, you want to be selling like a lot, but not too much. Because if you sell too much of your product, you're going to get the attention of Amazon. They're going to be like, thanks for the data. This is apparently a popular product. Now we're going to either like suspend your account, or we're going to come out with our Amazon basic product, sell it for cheaper, lowball you, sell it at a loss, and drive you off of our marketplace. But thanks for the free data for letting us know that customers like this product. Now we're going to destroy you.
yeah.
So you
I've seen
kind
that
of,
happen.
it's like kind of flying under the radar. You just want to almost kind of do good, but not too good, because the other thing that comes along with, you know, businesses like that, and even internet, businesses, information products and stuff, is like just the lawsuits and stuff, which is something that we never think that we're going to get into. But, the guy I used to work for, he was like, yeah, we've been sued 2 times. It's kind of like a rite of passage. It's scary at first. And then once you make it past the first uh, time you're sued, then it's just sort of like, oh, they want to go to battle, that's like better time to lawyer up. And it's
Yeah.
just this unnecessary expense a lot of times. I mean, sometimes people sue for legitimate reasons, I guess, but a lot of it's just sort of like, if you're making $1 million a year, and that's new money to you, and I'm kind of like the OG, I've been around, I'm like Procter and Gamble, I'm Mr. Billionaire over here, and I've got more money than you, and I want to destroy you, then I can just, drag your ass out to court, to the point where you have no more assets left because you spend all the money on these and just to be in court, and I've got more money than you. So I'm
Right.
gonna,
A matter of time.
yep, and you're gonna run out of funds, and now you can't run your business, so you gotta shut down, and I win.
Super interesting. Yeah, it's a business tactic for sure. I wonder if there's any kind of like business insurance or lawyers that deal specifically with internet, like affiliates and product sellers and stuff like that, right? Maybe there's a branch of niche lawyers that deal with harassment, like what you're dealing with right now, right? I don't know. I think it'd be interesting to look into and understand.
I kind of want to throw this in here too. Like I really like how you're documenting these conversations because nobody else is really doing this. I feel like the other people that I've chatted with, it's always been interview style. This is more conversation style. This is like what you and I talk about off camera
Hmm.
most of the time, and most people don't get in on those conversations. So this just whatever, take this for what it's worth. It's kind of like kind of a whatever, maybe kind of a shady way of doing business, but whatever, business is kind of cutthroat. And so this
There's
is
a
one of
black
the,
hat coming out.
yeah, this is something that's always stuck with me because again, it's like, I don't know if it's just a business thing or like, you're a guy, I'm a guy. We kind of just want to like conquer the world and we want, what do you want? We want more. We want everything. We want everything. Like, I always think of games like Settlers of Catan or
Okay.
Monopoly or Risk. I'm like world domination. I want all the resources, and so this is an example, a real example of this happening. So the guy I used to work for in college, he worked for Papa John's, and they were kind of a newer company back then, and they just had created a presence in Texas, and I believe they're like what do you call it? Their corporate office was in Austin, I
Mm.
believe. And so just his luck for being here. And so he started working for Papa John's and, got to meet John, the owner, and everything, and go to all these events. And so he got up into management, and I don't know how this information gets like fed down. He learned about this, but he told me about how they would kind of take over the people that they were sourcing things from. So the ingredients and like the uniforms and stuff that they wore and stuff, they slowly but kind of consumed those companies. And here's how they did it. So let's just say that he's big on John was really big on like sourcing the best ingredients, the best and stuff. So like they use like these special tomatoes, and this is all just from him. I haven't researched this and gone and double check this, but
Yeah.
they like to use these special little tomatoes for their sauce because they wanted it made in a certain way, and they got it all from this company I think out in California maybe, and it was like a mom and pop operation, but Papa John's was starting up, and they became one of their biggest customers. And Papa John's expanded and grew to a point where at some point they were doing so much volume that Papa John's became pretty much like 80% of their business or something, like
Damn.
just a very, very large amount of their business. And then I think Papa John's was like, oh, you gotta like, we're only gonna pay this much for the tomatoes or the resource or something.
Mm.
Kind of put mom and pop in kind of a bind. They're like, well, we can't make any profit, and they're like, okay, well, we're pulling out. We're no longer going to be your client. Well, shit. They had worked themselves up to being basically the majority of their business. Now this company has all this overhead because they have to fulfill the demand of a client like Papa John's. And if they lose that client, they're basically going to have to close their business.
Bro, that's
So what they
dirty.
did was they were like, we'll pull out. Then their businesses was crumbling. And then Papa John's comes back in and says, well, it seems like your business is closing down. We're going to throw you this lowball offer. We'll buy it for like 20 million. And they're like, I guess so, because we don't want to lose our business. And now they own you.
Damn.
And they did. And he said they did that to, some of their ingredients. They did it to their uniform company. So they same strategy. They started using their uniforms or something, and then they have so many employees that they became the main client for this company. And then they did that same strategy, and now they own the uniform company. So kind of shady things, but it's not. This isn't
Not
isolated
illegal.
example.
Yeah.
This
It's
is
just
how the
it's kind of shady.
cutthroat corporate world works. If it, like And the reverse of that kind of, or another angle on that, is there are other companies that they buy companies just to eliminate them, which is, I don't know all the benefits of that really, but an example of that was a couple of years ago when I first moved out to Austin. There was a cool little tool called Posterous, posterous.com. It was a cool little social media syndication tool, so you could
Mm.
sync it up. It was free. You can sync it up to your blog, and whenever it's kind of like a IFTT, whatever, IFTTT. If
Yeah. If this then that.
Yeah, so when you publish it to your blog, you could syndicate it to 10 YouTube channels, 10 Twitters,
Nice.
WordPress. It was a great little tool. And then out of nowhere, Twitter bought them and they went away. And I
Mm.
was like, why? This is a great tool. But for whatever reason, Twitter bought them and that tool doesn't exist anymore.
Mm.
So I don't have a
Interesting.
reason for that, but those are just some things that can happen. But Yeah, I just want to help people kind of think outside the box more, because this is real life, man. This stuff happens. It's not theory. Like it's I think we've had this conversation before too, like with not bashing wealthy affiliate or anything, but more basic watered down kind of courses. It's great, like they can get some results, but when you are up against people like me and you and some of the people that have gone through my course, you don't stand a chance in like the real world of SEO. You're going to get crushed.
Yeah.
Like, because you're into sports, you see this all the time. The star basketball player of the high school team, and then they get drafted into the NBA. They skipped college and they suck in the NBA because the NBA is on a different level than your high school basketball team,
Mm.
or the people, same thing with college. They're crushing it on a collegiate level. And then they move into NFL. Whatever happened to that guy? He was awesome, like the star quarterback, and all of a sudden he sucks.
Yeah.
And he had a 2-year career or something. Like
Yeah.
it's
Johnny Manziel.
yeah.
Poor
So
guy. No, I think it's interesting, man. It's like there's levels to it, and I'm definitely pressing on this level of breaking through. Now that I've made a couple $100, I made some more sales on my sites, but there's like this switch that you can flip where you really know why you made money and you can
yeah.
duplicate it. And so that's kind of where I'm at, and what I kind of wanted to throw out there for you. I bought Thrive themes and I started taking the Thrive University stuff, and it's extra dope. I'm super happy to have paid $200 for that.
Yeah, their stuff is super quality. Like they
Yeah,
really take care of their customers. They have excellent customer support. So they're one of the handful of like internet marketing tools that do it right. Like it's a fair price, quality product, quality support. I didn't even know they had that at university. That's kind of a bonus
yeah.
now. So yeah,
But it's making me look at everything differently. Like I went ahead and bought ConvertKit, and because it integrates directly, and I know that you used it or promoted it, so I went ahead and did all that. And I think that finding a way to really like push that to the forefront of most people's minds whenever they're becoming an affiliate is important. Like, get the tools and use them and get used to them. Because now that I have these tools, I'm pissed at myself because I'm like, dude, I should have bought these 4 months ago when I first started, because then it would have been that much easier for me to integrate everything and be thinking on a level of, okay, now that I have all this front end set up, it's time to create a super dope lead magnet that allows me to then step away from that and focus on super dope email content.
Mm-hmm.
There's all these different pieces, right? I think at the beginning of the journey, of any journey that you start out, for me, it was trading, for you, SEO. Now mine's SEO as well. But like when you first start something, it's like a big ass puzzle. You dump it on the table and
Yeah.
you're just looking at all the pieces. But the problem when you're bootstrapping and trying to be cheap is it's like taking half of the pieces and knocking them off the fucking table. And now you're wondering why, whenever you turn over the puzzle and you're putting the puzzle together, you're missing part of the puzzle, bro. And
Yeah.
because you're trying to be fucking cheap.
That's a good analogy, man. Yeah, man, I heard this great quote the other day. It's like the the thing that you most need or something is in the places that you're not looking or something like that. And so like how that equates to what you're saying, it relates is yeah, when I first got started, I was spending so much time and effort looking for the most best ultimate free autoresponder. And it's like, and then here's the whatever funny thing about it, because you're kicking yourself when you find out that to get started with an autoresponder, it's going to cost you about $30 a month. It's like $1 a day, because you don't start out with a list of 100,000. You start with a list of 0. So you got to build it. And and spend all that time and effort trying to find the free stuff, and then you'll go buy, $57 products that are garbage when you could just spend $30 on the autoresponder, and it's gonna make you money, especially if you're getting the leads from like SEO, because those are people looking for you. I have a list of less than 1,000 people on my autoresponder right now, and it makes me minimum $100, hundreds of dollars a month. But if I actually send them stuff, more like thousands. And again, my overhead is $29. So if you can't sell, have a positive ROI on 1,000 people and you're paying $29 a month, like, man,
Well, let me, to be clear, at the beginning, you're going to bleed a little bit, right? Because I have 0 people in my list, right? And I'm starting blue highlighted text, and I have all the ConvertKit in place. I've got Thrive themes in place, and I'm probably going to add other tools later. Now that I understand that buying tools is the fucking way forward, right? It's knowledge combined with tools. It's not just knowledge alone. It's not just tools alone. It's both of them in concert, figuring it out, right?
Yeah, and the frustrating.
I was so hard-headed about that. I was so hard-headed about that. It's been 2 years that I've been playing around online and trying to find my little niche. And this whole time, I had a guy tell me to understand, like, building a list and just do one thing. And what I do, I went out and did 3 things and never really intentionally went to build a list. Instead, I wanted to go build a drop shipping store. And I'm like, man, I should have definitely just listened to that. Because when you're building a niche and when you're building this affiliate stuff, if anybody out there wants to start a Shopify store, a drop shipping store, instead become an affiliate, learn the niche, learn what you're selling, learn about it, and then go take the experiment to the next level by having your own store, having your own products, doing that. But the first step of the journey, in my opinion, should be SEO, understanding how search engines work, blogging, so making content, original content, and understanding how keywords work, understanding how to position other people's sales page for you, right? If I'm an affiliate for a good product, that product has a badass sales page that they've put tons of time and energy into in order to get it to where it converts somewhat well, because they're in business. So obviously it converts somewhat. You're using their asset for your benefit.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you want to go to the next level, start making your own products, your own service, your own store But guess what? You're going to have to learn how to use sales pages. You're going to have to learn how to email market. You're going to have to learn all these nuances, all this shit that you don't know yet.
Yeah.
You could have just discovered it through affiliate marketing. And that's why I'm so passionate about this stuff, because it's the truest, realest starting point for someone who's new to this stuff, I think.
Yeah, it all comes back to the same skills. So the people that hate on SEO, they're like, "Oh, SEO is slow. It's dumb. I'm going to go do paid traffic." Okay, fine. Well, paid traffic, you need a budget. Oh, and you're also going to need to be really good at copywriting. So those are skills that you're going to have to learn. You don't just get born with those. Come into the world knowing how to convert people. So you're going to have to learn a skill, and the skills come back to you know, SEO, some sort of SEO, content creation, copywriting, email marketing, paid traffic, which there's a lot of skills you have to master with that, with copy, paid traffic, copywriting, and just tracking in general.
Mm.
The tracking tools, sadly, it's like the people that know how to use them know how to use them, and the people that don't, well, there's hardly any training. So those are the speed bumps you're going to run into. So the thing about SEO, I mean, I feel comfortable about it now because I've been through the school of hard knocks, so it seems simple to me now. But yeah, it was a long journey of, well, this guy said this worked. Well, this other guy said that it doesn't work. So which one is it? And it
Man, this is so much like
whatever you
training,
do,
bro.
it really just comes down to experiment. You got to experiment yourself. Because what I teach people, I teach them because of my results with that. And I was just talking to someone the other day, and I said, for everything that I teach, there's probably somebody out there that says everything that I teach doesn't work because
Right,
that's been their experience.
right.
But they're both right. And so I was chatting with Henry last night. I don't know if you know, I forget his last name, but makes a lot of money, tons of money, paid traffic and stuff. And I was trying to get to the the core of like how he thinks, because that's really the kind of like evergreen part of his business. It's not the traffic source, because traffic sources change, and it's his ability to think outside the box. And he was like, yeah, I said, do you have any kind of training, or like if I paid you, is there any kind of like mentoring or course like where I can kind of learn what you know? And he was like, not really. I don't really have a group of close people that are on my level that are doing specifically what I do at the volume that I do, just millions a month. And he said, I just sort of like test a lot of stuff and think outside the box and think like maybe this tool can be used in this way, and then I'll find little loopholes and just exploit them while they last, and then I'll figure out another one.
Like
And
black
it's
hatting almost.
yeah, it's just, I was like, so basically just a lot of trial and error. And he was like, yeah, there's a lot of trial and error, and then you find what works, because you at some point, like I had a success with SEO years ago, but I was just doing so little of it that the results were kind of sporadic.
Mm.
So I wasn't making enough YouTube videos at the time to make consistent income, because I thought like, whatever, 10 videos, 100 videos, surely they'll get found and I make sales. But and I made some sales, but when I started to whatever, just make more content, really, all of a sudden more money started coming in. Well,
Mm.
wow, that's interesting how that
Funny how that
works.
works, right?
Yeah, it's like, and same way with paid traffic. Well, even if you suck at paid traffic or your product sucks, it's kind of what I teach with the mass page stuff. The more people you're in front of, the more money you're going to make. It doesn't matter. You can have a terrible offer, but you will probably make some money because,
Eventually, yeah.
yeah, you can put whatever poor offer in front of a million people, and a couple of people are going to bite. So
And it's
it's
so real.
a little bit of a volume game too.
I wanted to jump in real quick and say something. One of the things that really hit me on, I watch these Thrive videos. I watch any kind of educational video, usually right around the time it is to go to sleep, right? So most of the time I work throughout the day. I need to read more, but I feel guilty when I do during the day because I'm like, well, I should be working, right?
Mhm.
And so at night, it's usually my wind down time, and I'll throw on a couple YouTube videos about SEO or about Thrive themes now, Thrive University. And one of the first videos I watched on that, he mentioned he's a big fan of the rapid implementation method. So I
Mhm.
came up with this idea of complete then tweak was my philosophy 2 years ago. And so it's been working for me. And I've discussed this with you.
Yeah, it's
And when
great.
he said that, it hit right on the head. I was like, okay, I'm on the same wavelength as this guy. I'm not stupid. I'm smart. I'm actually doing the right things. How can I make more YouTube videos? How can I make more blog posts? How can I really understand how it is I'm making money with SEO? Because I love paid traffic. I watched Igor's stuff and I was like, man, this is fascinating. But that led me to another epiphany. And it was the problem with amateurs, myself included, when you start anything, even if you go hard on it and you think that you've got the perfect solution, your version of perfect is that of an amateur's. So it really sucks. So you're way better off, instead of trying to seek perfect from a mind that's new to the space, of just implementing. You'll get better naturally as time goes on through doing it. You don't get better by thinking about it and thinking in a space of, I'm a beginner. This is what I think is the best. But yeah, that's based on a beginner's thoughts. So no, you don't know what the fuck you're doing, and for people to recognize that and then step back and say, okay, online marketing is all about tests. With Thrive Themes, I'm learning about A/B testing, and it's not a new theory or idea.
Right. But
I
it's
just never used it because I
right.
saw it and I was like, yeah, I don't need that. I just need to implement.
Right. I'm gonna get it. I'm cocky. I'm gonna get it right on the first try.
A/B testing is
Oh, no, no,
so
no, no,
important,
no.
bro.
Like
So important.
almost every seasoned marketer, they're like, I'm wrong most of the time, and I know it, and so that's why I test and I let the data tell me what is right.
Man,
And like, and I think that's a just a really hard thing for us to kind of unlearn because we were same age, grew up in America and stuff, and like in public school at least, or most schools, we're graded whatever with whatever grades, and like if it's not the right answer, then it's the wrong answer, and you get punished for that. And so like we're conditioned to like, well, we don't want to fail. That's I
right.
mean, A/B split testing means that one of them lost,
Yeah.
and 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 like it's the only way you learn, trial and error. Like you're not, don't think, I mean, even the best copywriters out there that know how to write stuff that converts, even they split test.
Mm.
And they've read all the copywriting books and can write us an effective sales page. And like I
Well,
wish people would
get
just
this. Get this idea, right? So while I'm doing the A/B test, I'm watching the thing about it, and I'm like, holy shit, that's right. So basically, your first idea can morph into something that you didn't even choose. That's based on the data. That's based on what other people are telling you they want. The actual consumer, which by the way is who matters, not you or your thoughts, right? I'm just here to serve them.
exactly.
And on top of that, the last point that I want to make on it is testing costs money. But when you're new and you're cheap, you don't run tests enough on different things. So when I say tests on different things, I mean different softwares, different plugins, different Shopify versus WordPress versus Squarespace versus this versus that. Like there's a million different variables. And I think that's where people get lost in the sauce. They say, oh, I saw this about drop shipping on Amazon. That's what I'm doing. I'm just drop shipping on Amazon. That's it. I'm not thinking of anything else. There's no other alternative. This guy's making that much money. That's what he does. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to hire him as a coach. As soon as I hire him, money's coming into my bank account. I took a course called 10K in 90 days.
Hmm.
Most spammy sounding course ever, but my dumbass
Did it
took it.
work?
Fuck no. My dumbass took it and thought that I was going to like fast track myself into, internet money. I learned a lot, and then I continue to learn, and thank God I'm a curious type of person to where I can go and dig in and, oh shit, I didn't know I could do that.
Well,
And
I think I want to kind of
yeah,
piggyback on that too. With I think that you have to have a lot of curiosity with this, but also I think it takes a little bit of a degree of stubbornness too, which I'm super stubborn because I
yeah,
mean, when you think about all the failure you've probably gone through in the last decade with just the things that you actually are passionate about too, like with trading, all the failure that's gone along with trading, if you think back, you gotta be like, man, I'm one of the like most stubborn motherfuckers ever. Why can't I give up? But like I
yeah.
can't. Because I know the only like I don't know how you make sense of all this, but years ago I just said it just came whatever hit me one day, and I was like, you know what? High school can be such a painful time because kids are mean and like if you got braces and pimples and stuff, like your life is just hell. And in that little bubble of high school and grade school, it seems like everything matters
Mm.
in that environment. And then you get out into real life and you never see those people again. And you figured out that it didn't matter. And so I just kind of along the lines of like unlearning stuff, I just whatever it hit me one day. I was like, man, if I want to make we both came middle class. I
Mhm.
don't ever anticipate on getting some multi-million-dollar inheritance because my parents have never made that. So I don't know where that's going to come from. So if I want to be a multi-millionaire, I'm going to somehow have to create that myself. And especially if I want to achieve that while I'm young, well, Greg's going to have to make that. And
Yeah.
so I just came to the whatever conclusion when I came out to Austin. And I had a girlfriend at the time, but I was alone out here because it was long distance. So it was just me here. And I was like, the only thing between like standing between me and my goal is the 24 hours and a day that I have that everybody else also has too. So like I need to figure out a way to, use those hours to the best of my ability to work towards that goal. Like I've just got these 24 hours. I need to use them as wisely as possible.
Yeah.
And like I'm not the first person that's tried to make $1 million or whatever. So it's been done a billion times before. I just need to find a way that works. And so yeah, just it kind of hit me with the time thing. It's like I can
Yeah.
throw out all that worry, all that concern, all of like opinions, like these comments that are coming in that tell me I'm dumb and gay and stuff. It's like I don't care about those people because
What's the count right now?
so when we started, I think it was like 110 when we started, but it's already up to 189 comments now. So
Holy shit.
crazy. They just keep coming in. But yeah, just again, I don't know how you make sense of like what you're working on, but you kind of
It's
have to.
hard. It's hard sometimes. It's just for me, I thank God. I really do. I thank God that I found something I was passionate about and that fit my personality. I would do this stuff if it didn't make money. Clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly I am, right? But I'm genuinely curious about it. It's a big puzzle. It's a big game for me.
Just fine. I mean, I'm not, I'm kind of like half on like the follow your heart kind of advice, but like, if you like puzzles and games and gaming and stuff, then if that's what makes you happy, well, man, if you can find a way to monetize that,
right.
you it's like you never work a day in your life. It's the greatest feel in the world. Like I'm not trying to be a dick or whatever, but like a lot of times when whatever I meet a girl for the first time, they'll be like, "What do you do for a living?" And like I don't it's little this, little that, but like every day is just the best day of my life, unless I'm sick or whatever. But if I'm happy and healthy or whatever, I'm happy. It's sun's shining today. I've got friends. I've got money in the bank. I love what I'm doing to make more money. So like it just kind of naturally I talk about it that way because I'm feeling happy on the inside. So I just want to like
That's
share
good.
that with other people because it's the truth. I'm not trying to be cocky or whatever, but it's just
Yeah.
like this is what I always dreamed of. This is incredible.
Well, it makes the painful times easy. For me, it's a rough time, but I'm sitting here smiling, happy because I feel like the breakthrough is coming because I am actually passionate and interested in making it better, making my sites better, making my keywords more like making my stuff rank, making my offers better, all that. Like I enjoy the puzzle, right? It allows you to get better easier. It's kind of like playing a sport. If you're playing a sport you don't like, then you're not going to practice. Why, you don't want to practice.
Yeah. I don't know if I told you about this, but there's a documentary that came out it, kind of examining some of these top athletes, and Wayne Gretzky was one of them. And he in the documentary he said he'd have these moms and parents come up to him all the time. It's like, you're the greatest hockey player in the world. Like on average, how many hours a day do you practice? Because that's whatever you do, that's exactly what my kid needs to do to replicate your success. And he was like, I don't really practice very much. But I play a lot of hockey because I love it. So I don't like hit record that how many hours I spend shooting pucks. I just love to do it. I would do it all day.
Right.
So I don't have a regimented like 3 hour block daily that I practice because I fucking love it. And they just couldn't figure him out because he
That's
was
so cool. I saw. I'm a huge Mayweather fan, and he said the same thing. The people around him, they interviewed him, and they were like, "This dude will be at dinner and get up and start and go run around the block real quick, or he'll be at a nightclub and leave to go run or go train." And his training is sporadic. He'll train at 2 a.m. He'll train at 3 in the afternoon. It doesn't matter. And he's just in this constant state of training, which I think is super interesting to be able to balance because you can overtrain and get hurt. But like he's been able to find this sweet spot where it's like he's naturally always ready. So he's never like needing to get ready for a fight. He's always ready because
nice.
he is a boxer. It's who he is, and
Yeah.
that's super aspirational. Like if I could, I look at myself even with trading. I look at it like an art. I'm an artist in my own eyes and how I look at it. And I love writing and I love trading. And if I'm writing and doing SEO stuff, I'm still writing. It's the same skills,
Yeah. I mean, it's
the blessing.
yeah, and like when again, I'm not really. Everybody's got different approaches on their way of getting ahead. I try not to like bash put you down in order to lift me up and stuff. But it's really nice to when you are training continuously at your discipline to the point where when someone calls you out, you're like, since you've been training for years, it's like, oh, I've been waiting for this moment because like I never get to use my skills to their full potential. Like, so when, these people are like bashing me, like, yeah, you suck at SEO, blah, blah. And like, do you want to like go head to head? Cause I mean, I've been training the last decade for this. This is what I live for. Um,
Yeah,
we'll
hell
see.
yeah.
Yes. Um,
And so you get to approach it with fun. And most people, if they get in a fight, Mayweather's probably enjoying it, right? Most people, they're like terrified, like, fuck, I never do this. I might get hurt. This sucks. You
he
get all
probably
nervous.
like I saw like his last fight, and again, I'm not really big into boxing, but I have to appreciate the like it doesn't seem like he's moving fast, but you just look at the people that are swinging and how fast they're swinging, and he misses every single one. And he probably gets stoked when people are like want to fight him because if I was in his position, it seems like maybe he I don't know how he approaches like their fists coming at him, but it seems like maybe it's like a math equation. He's trying to like, figure them out. And he's faster than them. He knows what they're going to do before they hit. And that's just to see that is incredible.
Yeah, I think that's why everybody's addicted to sports and seeing people excel at things. Because when you see greatness, you're like, wow, how can I do that in whatever I'm doing? If you're thinking on that level, right?
Exactly.
How can I do that in SEO? How can I do that in trading? How can I do that in whatever it is? And super interesting to be able to translate that mentality into.
Yeah, and it overflows into other areas of your life too, because like we're kind of driven, but not just in entrepreneurship. That also overflows into health. So,
Yeah,
and for all of our friends, we all go to the gym. We all are slowly trying to eat healthier and healthier and healthier, and like it overflows into all areas of your life. So it's like not just one area gets better. Usually, that you take that same approach into all areas. So it's like I'm driven. I want to get better and get stronger in the gym. I want to get a bigger bank account. I want to get really good at what I do. I think I've mentioned this to you before, but my high school art teacher, the last thing he said to me, it was like an epic last quote from him. The very last thing I heard from him when I walked out of the art building in my senior year, he was, I don't know why it worked out this way, but I was like walking out the door and he was like, Jeffries, because he would always call us by our last name. He's like, Jeffries, when you go off to college and life and stuff, he's like, just want to let you just remember this, pick one thing in life and be the best at it. And he's like, you can be good at more than one thing, but pick one thing and be the best at it.
nice.
And I was like, wow, that was like epic advice there and you really need to find that thing. Because I mean, it's cool to be a jack of all trades, but you need to master something. And the example I like to use is doctors and stuff. If you go to get a hernia surgery or something, do you want to go to like the general practitioner, or do you want to go to the guy that specializes in hernia surgeries and has had 2,000 successful hernia surgeries under his belt or something? Like, you want to go to the specialist. Every time. So
Literally 2,000 under his belt, literally.
yeah.
Nah, that's cool. That's spot on, man. Say no more. It's the truth. That's what people need to hear. But anyways, yeah, I hope people who are listening are encouraged to go on the journey. It's not a get rich quick. It's definitely you're going to spend money, man. Stop. If I could tell myself anything, my former self, I would say stop holding onto your money thinking that you holding it is helping your journey, because it's not. You need equipment, and then you need to upgrade your equipment, and then you need to upgrade it a couple more times. It's like a role-playing game, like a video game, right? You
Yeah,
level up.
you may have seen this example too, but like, when you hold on to something, yes, you're not letting it go, but since your hands closed instead of open, it's also not allowing more money to come into your life. So,
Ain't that the truth?
you
Yes,
know,
sir.
just don't take ridiculous risks. So like if you're only making a couple $1,000, don't take the risk and gamble of getting yourself $1 million in the hole. Make it relative to your income, and
Yeah,
if you need to
obviously, right?
make more first. It's worth it or whatever. You don't want to dig your hole so deep that you have to spend the rest of the next 5 years digging yourself out of that hole, because that's just it's frustrating going backwards. But yeah, man, you're gonna fail. You're gonna have a lot of trial and error. You're gonna spend money. You're gonna get screwed. Welcome to life. And I used to get kind of frustrated by that. But like, for instance, like 2 days ago, this I bought this course. It was like $300, and within 5 minutes, I was like, I just wasted my money. Like,
Mm,
it took me that quick, and as much as I want to refund it, it's not really worth the effort. Like, I made more than that the same day with affiliate commission, so I was like, whatever. it's helping that guy out. He just sold a course and he's probably happy.
And also, not to buy from him again, at least
Yeah.
not while he's at the level he's at,
Yeah.
whatever.
I want, and on that note, I want to like kind of encourage people, like once you find something that works, you know, kind of trust your gut, and always, stay curious and always be open-minded to learn new things. But when you've already got something that is working and you know that you know enough, spend the majority of your time now working, putting in the effort to scale that up. You don't need another software, another course, another anything. Just scale that. I mean, it's hard enough to find the thing that works. So once you do,
Yeah.
work at scaling that up. You found something. Congratulations. Now work it. Put in the effort you need to scale, because that's what's gonna get you there. Like, I mean, God, it's so much like mental energy trying to hop from thing to thing, and you can't juggle it all anyway. So, you know, once you find that thing, stick with it, man.
Cool.
And yeah, so
Appreciate that, man. All right. Well, y'all will catch us on the next one. We'll be doing it again pretty soon here. We'll check back in with you, Greg, to try to see how many comments you hit and what the outcome is. But yeah, thanks for doing it again, man.
yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah. Peace.